The number here is 617-396-4958 if you'd like to join the program. 617-396-4958. I'm thinking that since I can't really see proactive participants here, I don't know if I can take messages, but I guess maybe not. Let me just see here. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Um, I don't know. Anyway, I just want to spend a little time briefly right now talking about what I'm seeing coming out of the office of Rabbi Shmuley Beotek. It's really appalling. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful. And I have to tell you, I'm deeply ashamed. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to do this on TikTok because I can't seem to get anything going on that. I think that actually this is a topic that I'm probably not going to be deleted on TikTok over. I don't know that. I mean, I hope not. Let me just see. Live. Here we go. Live. Okay. Let me just get rid of that, and I'm going to go. Um, Sorry about this, everyone, but I'm just kind of fumfering here a little bit. Let's see. The problem with Rabbi Done. Okay. All right, so I'm now live on TikTok. You're welcome to join the program, and you're certainly welcome to include comments. I also can take calls here at 617-396-4958, 617-396-4958. Charles Moskowitz, welcome to the program. Um, my problem with Rabbi Shmuley Beotek is that his behavior has been appalling, disgusting, disgraceful on many fronts, and it bothers me that he is operating in the capacity of a rabbi. He's bringing disgrace to the Jewish people at a time when we don't need this kind of problem. We never do. It's never a good time for this. Let me tell you what I'm talking about here. I'll get into the Candace Owens thing in a second, but before I do, I just want to say that this latest TikTok video that I saw of him is what put me over the top. It was posted by Stu Peters, who's an excellent talk show host. Has some Jewish problems for sure, I think, and I think he comes at it from an honorable place, but he's quite wrong I believe, in his analysis of that. But putting it aside, he posted a video of Rabbi Shmuley Beotek celebrating Purim at a party, and it was gross. It was awful. He's there twerking with a young boy sitting on a chair. He's shaking his ass all over the place. He's drunk as hell. He's disgusting. And there's another one I saw where he dresses up allegedly as the worst possible stereotype of a Jew, wearing this disgusting hook nose and clown outfit with outrageous costume, shows up at a party with children, scares the hell out of the kids. You can see they're like, oh my God. And I mean, I get the fact that he was allegedly trying to make some kind of a point, but not the way to go about it. Pretty ugly stuff. But more seriously, I mean, he actually is bragging about having gotten Candace Owens, who is a brilliant commentator, great conservative, getting her fired at the Daily Wire with allegations that she was anti-Semitic. Why was she anti-Semitic? I mean, I've viewed her videos. She's not on board with Israel's actions in Gaza. And while I would argue otherwise and why I don't agree with her, I don't think that that makes someone anti-Semitic. I think that, look, Secretary of State Blinken is pressuring Israel to stop their operations in Gaza and to withdraw. I don't think that makes him anti-Semitic. It's a legitimate issue that ought to be debated. She also mentioned some of the horrors of that war, including the deaths of I don't know, upwards of 20,000 children. That again is a legitimate issue. Of course, it's something that pains Jews and Israelis. It's not something we're happy about at all. It's something that we mourn over. Nobody wants to kill children. I mean, the problem is that Hamas, the militants who are killing Israelis in the most savage way, are using children to hide behind as human shields. They're disguising themselves in civilian garb, not because they don't have military garb. They do. At the same time, they're out parading with their very frightening looking green sashes and all the rest. No, they're blending into the population and hiding behind people so they could take pot shots at the Israelis. So the Israelis are in a very tough position. And Candace Owens has criticized that. She also criticized, by name, Rabbi Shmuley Beotek. Why? Because apparently he's selling sex toys. His daughter is selling dildos. I don't know what. I mean, it's disgusting. And doing it, it's like, is that a good image for a rabbi, for a religious figure, a man of the cloth? No, it's horrible. I mean, it's the worst possible stereotypes. And it plays right into the hands of somebody like Dr. E. Michael Jones, who can then point to it and say, look at the Jew, right? This is what the Jews are like because we're all subversives, because we killed Christ. And therefore we're subverting the moral order. When not only does he not represent 99.9% of Jews, and not only is he completely at variance with Jewish ritual and understanding and faith and Torah, but he's presenting himself at the same time as a Jewish leader. And he's asking that anyone who criticizes his disgusting activity be fired, as in the case of Candace Owens, and be labeled anti-Semitic. It's disgusting. And it's very much one of the things I get into, quite frankly, in my latest book. Not to get in a shameless plug here, but my book, The Anti-Semitic Imagination, The Great Establishment Deception, I get into, I did a chapter in there on the ADL, and I get into how the term anti-Semitism has been misused by people to promote whatever the hell agenda they want. And in the process, they've delegitimized, or tried to delegitimize. Nothing delegitimizes. They just have tried. They've besmirched the reputation of the Jewish people. Anyway, I got a bunch of people joining on TikTok. You're certainly welcome to send a comment. I'll read it over the air. I'm also live on Twitter and Facebook, and I'll post this later on Rumble. I have a guest coming up on Rumble, so I couldn't go live on Rumble. But Rumble is the flagship station, and my books are available at Amazon Books. So that's basically my rant, if you will, for today. Shame on Beotek, presenting himself as a rabbi and behaving in such a loathsome way and so disgracefully. It's awful. Let me just look at let me just briefly, let's see, I'm going to take a glance at his website. He says, he's a weird looking guy anyways. It's the most, most unpleasant person in appearance. It says, Rabbi Shmuley Beotek quote, America's rabbi? Where the hell did he come up with that? Whom the Washington Post and Newsweek called, quote, the most famous rabbi in America? I mean, I think that Shmuley is somebody who is a true publicity hound. You know, he's drunk with his own image and his own power. He's completely lost his moorings. And it's nasty. It's ugly. Hey, how you doing?
Hello, friend. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. What's on your mind?
Hello, how are you, Charles?
Yes, thank you. And we've got another guest here, too.
I'm good. And you?
I'm well. Hello, how are you? I got another guest. You're welcome to the show.
I am.
Speak up, speak up, speak up. Okay, we've got a couple of people here on TikTok.
Kami bhai, aap leave ho jao.
Okay, well, this is I have to tell you, unfortunately, I only speak English. It's an English program, so thanks anyways.
Charles, complain.
Okay. Anyways, no, I mean, I just don't understand you. Sorry. Okay. That's all.
Only one better, no problem. Only one better.
All right. All right, I'm just turning down the volume. Unfortunately, I don't know how to hang up on someone. If I did, I'd hang up. And I don't want to completely wipe out the show. So, anyway, getting back to Rabbi Shmuley Beotek here. Let's see. It says he's the most famous rabbi in America. What does that say, first of all, about America? It's not exactly a good moment. If this is our most famous rabbi, I mean, really, have we really shrunk that low? I mean, whatever happened to men like Maimonides or Nachmanides? They were brilliant, important thinkers and rabbis, moral and ethical men who can really lead and who can truly represent America. I find it very suspicious that he's been chosen. I wonder who chose him. I have a feeling he chose himself. Either that or he's been chosen by the so-called deep state to be the rabbi of America. I don't know. He goes, is for many the face of Judaism in the modern world? Holy mackerel. What kind of an arrogant SOB. Hello, you're on with me on TikTok. Charles Moscowitz here. How are you? Let me just turn up my volume. I've got 3 people. Yes, what's on your mind?
Bosh.
Oh,
Sweet. I just seen.
what's happening? How are you watching the show? I mean, what are you thinking about? Toby, speak up. Hello?
Accept the word. Accept the battle.
Okay, this is an English program, so I can't really take a call that's not English. Sorry about that. All right.
Oh, where are you from, cuz?
Where am I from? Boston. How about you?
Australia.
Wonderful. Sydney? Brisbane?
No.
Melbourne? Perth? What city?
I'm on
And the Northeast Territories?
No, we live in Perth.
Perth. Okay. Now, I've heard that Australia was really locked down during COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't, I mean, there's rumors that there were concentration camps and that kind of thing, and you couldn't even leave your house. Is that true?
No, so I'm leaving, bro. I'm on the English class.
Oh, okay. Because, I mean, Australia is one of the great free democracies. I would hope that the Australians will stand up to that kind of tyranny.
What do you do for a job, Charles, brother?
What do? I do a lot of things. I'm an author. I'm a podcaster. I drive Uber. I go to college.
This girl called Shakira wants to join.
Okay. Welcome aboard.
That's it, Charles.
All right.
No, you can say it, brother.
All right.
Yeah, join us after Shakira.
I mean, I'm having a little trouble understanding here, but
Oh, be quiet, Amelia.
anyway, listen, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining me, everybody.
Bring Mana's family into a live stream.
All right.
30 chat, 30.
First, you bring up your family as well.
Looks like they're having a conversation amongst themselves, so I'm going to leave it at that. Excuse me. Getting back to Rabbi Shmuley, it says he is the modern face of Judaism, the world's most respected values and spiritual voices. Really? His daughter's selling dildos. He's doing disgusting videos. He is one of the leading defenders of Israel. Okay. And appears as a regular guest in international media outlets. I mean, I think that Israel could, frankly, have a better representative, but at least he's on the right side on that one, and that's not always true with everyone. Rabbi Shmuley is also one of the world's most respected and oft quoted relationship experts. Sounds like he's got his hand in a lot of pots. Rabbi Shmuley's new book is called Good Morning, with a morning, Mourning. Just after midnight, shell-shocked and numb, Rabbi Shmuley Beotek got the news that his father had died. There were so many details to attend to, and as soon as the funeral was over, his obligation to say Kaddish began. 3 times a day, every day, for 11 months, he would need to assemble a quorum of 10 and say the Jewish morning prayer for his father, while much of the world was in lockdown. So obviously that happened during the pandemic, and that is the traditional approach in Judaism to the death of a loved one, particularly someone like a parent or a child or a sibling. But really, one can hold Kaddish for anyone that they care about. And by the way, the quorum of 10 Jews getting together to pray every day, 10 circumcised bar mitzvahed Jewish men. I know that Reform and Conservative Judaism includes women, and I respect that. And that's fine, but I'm just noting this because it has been the Jewish men who have conducted this same forum every single day, 3 times a day, somewhere in the world from the beginning of time until today, without a single day left unattended to. It is in and of itself a miracle, I would argue. And it is a means by which the Jewish man involved in the Kaddish and in the daily service, Kaddish is said or not said, depending upon whether someone is mourning. Well, actually, it's said anyways, but it's for mourners in particular. There's a special one. It basically raises the spirituality of the participants, but it also raises the spirituality of the entire community, all the Jewish people, and by proxy, all of the world. So, getting back to Shmuley's bio here, with sensitivity, wisdom, humility, and even a liberal dose of his trademark humor, Rabbi Shmuley takes us through his year of mourning and shares the lessons learned. This moving book touches a universal themes about grief, love, and how to move on with life after the deepest loss. Okay, congrats on the win. Enjoy the victory lap with your creator. I'm not sure who you're talking to on that, but you're welcome to comment on TikTok. Shmuley looks like here he is. He's kind of a media hound. He's weird looking. I don't see weird. He's most unpleasant, but he's calls himself America's rabbi. Oh my God. He's written a lot of books. Let's see. Good Morning, Judaism for Everyone, Hating Women, America's Hostile Campaign Against the Fairest Sex, The Broken American Male and How to Fix Him, and The Fed Up Man of Earth. Look, I mean, I haven't really explored his books. All I can tell you is that, and the reason I came on today is to just briefly mention that I think it is completely wrong and destructive for him to have advocated that Candace Owens be fired from the Daily Wire, which I think was a big mistake for the Daily Wire. It not only plays into the hands of the enemies of the Jewish people, but it's wrong. It's just you have to have diversity of opinion. To suggest that she's anti-Semitic is ridiculous and wrong. And furthermore, her criticism of Shmuley Bayotek, frankly, are quite legitimate in terms of his going in the business of helping his daughter sell sex toys, you know, and his disgusting behavior in general. He's obviously someone who, it appears to me, I should say, I can't say obvious, it's my observation, that he's become drunk with his own ego, his own fame, his own arrogance. And thus he's lost touch with any kind of, it seems, any semblance of humility and compassion, which is basically the most essential functions of Jewish life, and which permeates the Talmud and the Torah. He's completely lost touch with that. And for that I say, shame on him, but particularly odious is his promotion of himself not only as, quote, America's rabbi, talk about arrogance, but to hold himself up as some kind of a moral paragon, some kind of a virtuous figure, and advocate that other people are fired if they don't goose step to his particular point of view, and that they are fired under the moniker of being, quote, anti-Semitic. You know, look, anti-Semitism is a real thing in the world right now, always has been. As I said, I get into this in my book, The Anti-Semitic Imagination. And this is no time, not that there's ever a good time, for the concept to be abused and essentially corrupted out of self-interest by some self-proclaimed rabbi of America. I find it disgusting. I find it repulsive. I find it appalling. And as I said, he's playing into the hands of the enemies of the Jewish people at a time when Israel is at war and when Israel faces a genocidal enemy that is very active and very much in the field. So that's my commentary on this score. I couldn't go live on Rumble only because I have a guest coming up at 12 noon today, so Rumble doesn't let me do 2 streams at once, and that one's been scheduled. But I am live on TikTok, and so far TikTok hasn't shut me off. So if you want to comment, you're welcome to do so on TikTok. My books are available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble, Charles Moscowitz. My latest book, as I mentioned, is The Anti-Semitic Imagination. Let me just hold that one up for viewing. The Anti-Semitic Imagination is my latest book. And by all means, check it out. Anyways, I also, just as a little other issue, I might as well talk about this. We're all waiting today with bated breath to see whether or not the communist Attorney General of New York State starts to seize President Trump's properties after this obnoxious ruling. Ridiculous, absurd fine. It's going to be, if she does, I would suggest that it's going to be devastating to the economy of New York, and that could affect the whole country. It would be a complete abrogation of private ownership of property. I've noticed lately, all of a sudden, coming out of the blue, it's weird that it's happening in an election year, there are all of these threats to private property. I mean, who ever heard of this business of people being able to squat in someone's home and take over the home? I mean, this is unthinkable. This is part of an agenda to help the millions of illegal aliens crossing over the border to get housing. I don't know. I better be careful here because TikTok will censor me. So I don't think I'll say more. In fact, on that note, I'm going to sign off TikTok. And I'll probably sign off soon on my other platforms. But I might say a few more things on my platforms. So, I want to thank you for joining everyone on TikTok. God bless you all. Be well, be strong. Let's pray for our country. Pray that we're going to see the country through. And we're going to elect Donald J. Trump as president in November. Get out the vote. Tell your friends, your colleagues, your family to vote for Trump because it's in their interest, not only as individuals, but for the future of this country, whether they like him or not. Get over the propaganda. See what's really going on here. These attacks on Trump are an attack on all of us. It's an attack on our very system. It's an attack and they're doing it right in the very nexus, right in the heart of America's commerce, that is New York. Anyway, again, I want to thank you for joining me all. God bless you. Okay. I'm not sure how to get out of this, but I don't know. How do you X out of TikTok? I don't know. All right, there we go. I don't want to try to use TikTok. Yeah. Okay. And I want to thank you all for joining me as well. Have a blessed day. God bless you all.